بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So we're continuing with our discussion regarding ناقص, and now we're discussing the فعل المضارع. Now, the way he's laid it out in the text, I'm not too keen on his methodology. So I'm going to explain it in my way first, and then we'll go through the text inshallah. Okay? Understood? Okay, so let's have a look here. So, what we need to do, we need to learn 4 important rules. We need to learn 4 rules regarding ناقص. If you get these 4 rules in place, then we can just learn the name of 4 important rules, and then we can say, in this surah, this happens. In this surah, this and this happens. Okay? The first rule, some of them we done already, and 1 or 2 are new. The first rule is qalb. We done that before. Qawala, we done that already. Qawala, baya'a. What is that? What happens in qawala and baya'a? Like a wow or a ya mutaharrik. Correct? Ma qablahu is what? Fatha. It becomes what? It changes to an alif. It becomes an alif. The wow and ya become an alif if it is preceded by a fatha. Wow or ya mutaharrik preceded by a fatha becomes alif. That's called qalb. Wow or ya mutaharrik preceded by a fatha becomes alif. This is called what? Qalb. First rule sorted. Second rule is naqal. We done this in ajwaf already. When you have a wow or ya, see the harka here is not clear. Mutaharrik preceded by a sakin. Not in all cases, but this generally. What do? We transport, we move the haraka. We move the haraka of the kasra of the ya to the word before it. We give the haraka of the wow to the word before it and change it into a wow yaqulu because it matches. Because we say yaqulu, we say yaqulu because it matches in the aspect. It's called naqal. We transport the haraka over. No, sorry, it's not yaqulu, it's yaqulu because nasara yansuru, my mistake, yaqulu. That's a mistake on this one. Okay? So it's yaqulu. Okay? So we do qalb. No, sorry, naqal. So first one is what? Qalb, where you change the wow or ya mutaharrik ma qablahuma maftuh to an alif. Naqal is when you have the ya or wow sakin, wow or ya mutaharrik ma qablahu sakin, you move the haraka over across to the letter before it. So yaqulu becomes yaqulu and yabyi'u becomes yabi'u. Understood? Everybody following? Then we have the third rule is what? Hadf. Hadf means when you have iltiqa'u sakinain, what do? You drop the harf al-illa. So nasara yansuru, yansurna, yabyi'na. So what will happen here? Yaqulna, first we'll do what? In here. Naqal, because waw mutaharrik, ma qablahu is a sakin. So now what do? You do naqal. Yabyi'na, ya mutaharrik, ma qablahu sakin, do naqal. And when it becomes yaqulna, what do you have now? Iltiqa'u sakinain. So when you give the wow, the wow's haraka of dhamma to the qaf, and give the sakin, it becomes yaqulna. So after doing naqal, you do hadaf. Becomes hadaf. So hadaf means to drop a harf al-illa when there's iltiqa'u sakinain. Does everybody understand this? Following? Okay, I'm not reading the comments, so you have to say verbally whatever you need to say. Okay? Yeah, so keep your mics on so it's easy to get. I need a lot of correspondence today because I need to make sure you're understanding. So keep your mics on so you can answer straight away. Jay, what's the question, Ibrahim? Yeah, we do naqis, but these are some rules that would already applied before. Just recapping those rules that we did in the ajwaf again. These are all ajwaf, but the rules applied. We learned the rules in ajwaf, so we're just refreshing the rules. These are not new rules. These are the same old rules, but these rules of qalb, naqal, and hadaf will apply in what? In the naqis as well. So it's refreshing the rules. So if the rules on the tip of our tongue, it's very easy to explain what's happening in each of the sighas in the naqis. The next question. Okay. Right. And then the rule that applies only to naqis is taskeen. What does taskeen mean? When you have a harf al-illa at the end, and it's not got a mark, it's not a fatha before it. You have a waw or ya mutaharrik at the end. What do you have at the end? A waw or ya mutaharrik. Correct? And before it is no fatha. If there's a fatha, what would happen? Qalb. But waw or ya mutaharrik ma qablahu dhammatun aw kasratun. Not a fatha. Correct? So what will happen now? A taskeen. You'll give it a sakin. Instead of saying yad'u, what do you say? Yad'u. Instead of saying yarmi, you say what? Yarmi. Correct? And in yes, ayu, what do you say? Yes, ayu, what do you say? Is it taskeen or qalb? Qalb, because it's a maqalu mafduh. So the 4 key words are what? Qalb, to change the waw and ya into an alif. Naqal, to move the haraka of the waw and ya to letter before it. Hadaf, when it's iltiqa'u sakinain, you drop one the harf al-illa. And taskeen, you make the waw and the ya at the end into a sakin. You remove the haraka if it's preceded by mutaharrik, which is not a fatha. So far so good? Okay. Now we're going to look at the mudari, but we're going to look at mudari where is what sa'a yas'a, sa'aya yas'ayu, and radiya yardayu. Basically it's maftuhul ayn. If the mudari is what? Maftuhul ayn. The mudari is what? Maftuhul ayn. If the mudari is what? Maftuhul ayn. Mudari is maftuhul ayn. This will apply. So let's take the first sigha. What's happened in the first sigha? Yas'a, yarda. What was it originally? Yes. What was it? Yes, you. No? What happens in here? The ya is mutaharrik, ma qablahu maftuh. The ya changes into what? An alif. Yas'a. So this will happen here. Yas'a will happen here. Tas'a, tas'a, as'a, nas'a. In all of these sigha, what change is taking place? Why is qalb taking place? Because it ends in a ya, mutaharrik, ma qablahu maftuh. So it becomes yas'a, tas'a, as'a, and nas'a. So far so good? Yes? Now the next one we have to look at now is yas'awna. Let's look at yas'awna. Originally yas'awna was going to be what? Yes, yuna. Yes, yuna. What's the first thing that happens? Qalb. The ya becomes what? An alif. Because what? Qalb. Ya mutaharrik ma qablahu maftuh becomes an alif. Yas'auna. What do you have now? Iltiqa'u sakinain. Because iltiqa'u sakinain, what do? Hadaf. So yas'awna becomes yas'awna. So yas'ayuna becomes yas'awna because of qalb, and then after qalb you have ijtima' sakinain, you do hadf. Understood? Yes? The same will happen in tas'awna. Same as yas'awna, tas'awna, same exact thing, only comes yes, it comes tas. And tas'ayna, the same thing will happen. What will happen in tas'ayna? You will have tas, taftahina, tas, yina. What's going to happen? The ya will be, what will happen first in the ya? Qalb, tas'ayna. Then what's going to have? Tas'ayna. You have ijtima' sakinain, you do qalb. And it should become what? Tas'ayna. But if you have tas'ayna, what's going to happen? Become tas'ayna. Yes? Tas'awna, tas'ayna, as'an, as'a. Understood? So in here, qalb happens in, so in all of these sighas, so in the sighas here you have qalb. In all the sighas without noon, there's a qalb. Correct? Now the question is, let's look at, for example, yas'ayna, yas'ayani. Why is there no qalb in here? Let's look at yas'ayani. Okay? Yes, ayani. Yes, ayani. If you do qalb, what's going to happen to the ya? Alif. And then you have alif, what will happen now? Intiqal sakin. What will it come? Yes. Intiqal, you do hadaf. When you have hadaf, it becomes yas'ani. Why can't you say yas'ani? I'll tell you why I can't say yas'ani. If we go, let's check it to the manzoom form. Or lam tas. So let's take it manzoom form. Lam lan tas'a lan tas ayani. So let's say we do the qalb and we make it tas'ani. What's going to happen now? If we accept this change, so the single form will be what? Lan tas'a. When you drop the noon in the mansoob form, what's going to happen? It becomes what? Lan tas'a, lan yas'a. So the dual form and the singular form will become the same in the mansoob and majzoom state. So if we do the change in marfu state, not a problem. If we say yas'a, yas'ani, it will work fine here, not a problem. Yes? Are you following me? It will work. But when you get to the mansoob and majzoom form, we will not be able to differentiate between the singular and the dual forms. Therefore, we don't do the change in the yas'ayani. So in the jewels, so all of the jewels, we have tasheeh. Meaning, what tasheeh mean? We keep it as it is, we don't make any change. So all the jewels have what? Tasheeh. Yes, tasheeh, and tasheeh. What's left now? So in theory, sorry, not here. So in theory, the jewels should have changed because of the qalb should have applied, but because of an external factor, the qalb doesn't happen. What's left now? Yas'ayna, tas'ayna. So yaftahna becomes what? So is this yes? Ayna? Is there any change in here? Yes, ayna is the same as yaftahna, isn't it? Yaftahna. What am I doing here? Yaftahna. You see? So there's no change in here. So here this stays as it is. Even you say tasheeh in there as well. There's no change in there. So yes, so in the jewel there should have been a qalb, but there's no qalb. In the Jam' al-Mu'annas Salim, the Jam' al-Mu'annas, whether it's ghaib or the mukhatabat or the ghaibat, there is no need for change because there's what? This ya sakin, and it's not at the end, so it just stays as it is. Are you following? And then in all the mufrad is qalb, and the ghaibun and the mukhatabun and the mukhataba. In there is qalb and hadaf. Have you understood this table? Yes? Any questions regarding this table? It's very important. Let's get it basically in your mind. So summary is what? The jewels, there should have been qalb, but there's no qalb because it will cause a problem in the marfu' and majzoom state. Yes? Then all of the letters without a nun al-i'rab, they all have qalb. Correct? Everything without nun al-i'rab apart from the jewels has qalb, and the mukhatabun and the ghaibun and the mukhataba, they have our qalb and hazf. There's hazf missing from here, hazf missing from there as well. Yes? Yes? Are you following? Make sense? So if you summarize it, how many categories? The first category is the muthanna, is the what? The jewels. What happens in the jewels? All the jewels. Yes? And then the Jam'ul Mu'annas. Meaning there's no need for a change as well. So in jewels it's tasheeh, but meaning it should have changed, but it doesn't. Jam'ul Mu'annas, there's no need for any change whatsoever. Okay? No noon al-i'rab. If there's no noon al-i'rab, what happens then? If there's no noon al-i'rab, what happens? Qalb. If it has, and then what's left now? The ones with noon al-i'rab, apart from the jewels, which is what? The mudhakkar, ghaib, mudhakkar, mukhatab, and the mukhataba. Do you have what? Qalb plus what? Hazf. Understood? Okay. So now, so you go back over this table again. What's missing here? This hadf is missing here. You can put in here hadfun. Yes, hadfun in here. That's one. That's missing a mistake. Understood? Yes. Okay. G. Yeah. Should we move to the next table? Yeah, it's here. I never forgot it. I forgot to press the button. Hadfun is there. Okay. Got it? Right. Now in those فعل مضارع which are not مفتوح العين, رمى يرمي, so ضرب يضرب مكسور العين, or يدعو, which is what? يدعو meaning is مضموم العين. In these what happens? تسكين. So يرمي becomes what? يرمي. يدعو becomes what? يدعو. What's happening in here? تسكين. What's happening in here? تسكين. Then the same thing will happen again in all of the نون الإعراب صيغas. تسكين. Yes? Then what's happening now? The same thing will happen again. So the same rule will apply, but it's the same formula, meaning numbers, but different rules. So yarmuna was originally what? Daraba yadribu becomes originally what? Yarmiyuna. What is it originally? Yarmiyuna. Then what happens? Tell me what happens. What does ya have? It's mutaharrik and there's no fatha dhamma before it. So what do? You do what? Naqal. You move the haraka across. When you move the haraka across here, this is what do you have now? Iltiqa sakinain. So what do? You do hadaf. So you have naqal followed by hadf. The same will happen here in tarmuna, naqal and hadaf. In tarmina, same thing, naqal and hadaf. Tarmiyina, let's tad'uwina, tansurina, tad'uwina. What's going to happen here? What do we do here? You move naqal, the kasra, the haraka goes here, and this becomes sakin, iltima sakinain, you drop it. Tad'ina. So you do naqal and hadaf. And then in yarmiyani, it stays as the same. Yarmina, there's no change. Yarmina. Yarmina is the same pattern as what? Yarmina. And yadribna. So that ya is the original ya. There's no change in there. Same will happen in the ayat. So taskeen, and then you have naql and hadaf in the others. Does everybody understand this? Yeah? Following? Any questions? Okay. Now what happens now, he's discussing, the next thing he discusses, he's also discussing in the book, is a mansoob state. So in the mansoob state, it's very simple. What happens? If it ends in a ya, in a alif, for example, yas'a, the alif will stay in place. So in all of the non-noonul i'rab, or any noon i'rab or noon muannas, in radiya yarda, the alif will stay there. The alif wouldn't drop. And in yarmiya yad'uwa, you give it a fatha. So in here, you don't have a fatha, you don't have lan yas'aya. Because if you have lan yas'aya, what happened again? If you have lan yas'ayu, what's going to happen when you make it lan yas'aya? What's going to happen anyways? Qalb, because ya mutaharrik ma qabla maftuh becomes yas'a, so it becomes an alif. So lan yas'a, written as lan yas'a with a standing alif. So that's why it says yas'a. Yarda, same thing. La yardaya, qalb to yarda. So even if so the ending, it makes no difference. Mutaharrik ma qabla maftuh. So when you put, once you have the ya or the you, it's mutaharrik anyway, so it still becomes alif. That's why you can't see an alif in the mansoob form of safatahan sami'ah, because maftuh before it, maftuhul ayn. That's why I have yas'a, lan tas'a, lan tas'a, lan as'a, lan nas'a, lan arda, lan tarda, lan narda. Because even though waw changes to a ya, they're both mutaharrik, so they both become an alif anyways. And then in the nasara daraba yadribu and the nasara yansuru, you have a fatha as normal, like lan yaftaha, etc. normal. Hamad, you following? Ibrahim following? Any questions? Okay. Now in here, what's going to happen? The same rule as majzoom. The only difference is instead of having a hazful haraka, you have hazful harf. So when it comes majzoom form, the last letter drops. So yes, the ya drops. So in the majzoom form, now what happens? In those sighas that don't have a nun i'rab and nun niswa, it becomes a sukoon. So lam yaftah. Yaftah. So instead of having a hazful haraka, you drop the whole part altogether. So yas'a, lam yas'a. Because right is supposed to be lam yas'ay. But harful illa, if a sakin is weak. So it's weak as it is. Then you got double no haraka. So it's too weak, you just drop it. So if lam yarmi, so you drop it. Yes? Lam yad, you following? So because the harful illa is there, no haraka on it, you drop it altogether. So this is one point he's pointed out here in the so this is mentioned in the book. Okay? And then he goes into it in text later on. But this is the main fundamentals you need to understand. If you get this in your mind, then the text becomes much easier. Yes, you following? So let's recap. So in the mudari, if it's maftuhu al-ayn, then the muthanna sighas, what happens to the muthanna sigh? Nothing. Tasheeh. Correct. What happens? It stays as it is. Jamul mu'annas salim. Anything happens to jamul mu'annas? Jamul mu'annas, not salim. Jamul mu'annas, mukhatabat and ghaibat. Anything happens there? No. Then all of the sighas, all the sighas which remain without nun al-i'rab, what happens to those? You do qalb. And when it is nun al-i'rab, i.e. the ghaibun and the mukhatabun and the mukhataba, you do qalb, and after qalb you get iltiqa sakinain, so you do hazf. Yes? And then in those which are not maftuhul ayn, meaning bab daraba yadribu, bab nasara yansuru, in the sighas that don't have nun al-i'rab, what do? You do taskeen. And then those that have a nun al-i'rab plus taskeen, what happens? You do naqal and hadaf, naqal and hadaf, naqal and hadaf. You following? And this is the change that apply. And then in the mansoob state, when it becomes fatha, it becomes qalb again, so you can't see a difference between the marfu and the mansoob state, because it becomes qalb. When the qalb occurs, you can't see a difference, it becomes alif. Whether the dhamma before or fatha before, it makes no difference. And then the lam, what happened? Instead of making it sakin, you drop the harf illa all together. Hal fahimtum? No? Okay. So what we do here, we'll go through text tomorrow inshallah, next lesson. This lesson can be focused on the rules without the text. And next lesson inshallah, we'll go through the text inshallah. هل لأحد من سؤال؟ هل فهمتم كلكم؟ Brother Muhammad Wali? Have you got the main concepts? Hamad? Mus'ab? Alhamdulillah. Okay, subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.